I'm a lover of Bud, and I'm gonna keep it real with this boxing shit. How we gonna do it? I'm gonna hit him with this. I'm gonna hit him with this. I'm gonna start low. I'm gonna start with Mike Garcia. Where you at, baby boy?
V-March Boxing, what's happening, world? Back at it with another boxing video. I don't even do videos this late, man. I'm usually about ready to go to sleep, but man, I had to let this one out before I crash. You know what I mean? Now, I just heard Bud Crawford and his buddy, his homeboy, his man's, his they look like they in Bud Crawford's crib, and this man's talking a whole lot. You know what I mean? And he makes a lot of valid points, a lot of great points. But then they contradicting themselves, man. You see, and this is why I have to make this video, because at the end of the day, what I'm not getting is the fights that what I'd like to see. You know what I'm saying? And there ain't no picking sides, none of that. Fighters got to get into the ring. But Bud Crawford seems like he's also making some contradictions and being a hypocrite.
You did some good shit in your.
You know?
Just talking all this about.
Let me tell you, man. Let me tell you, like how what he was talking about. You know, he talked about guys like Mikey Garcia, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence. Didn't really talk much about Pacquiao. His mans gave Pacquiao a pass. Same thing I've been doing this whole time. Right now I think Errol Spence and Pacquiao. Hey, if Pacquiao thinks Errol Spence is vulnerable, go ahead get him in the ring. You know what I'm saying? You know, after that accident. But really and truly, I want to see Errol Spence fight his peers and Terrence Crawford too. Fight his peers, guys within his age bracket, to make legacy fights. Now, the guy's ranting on, and everything he said about Mikey Garcia is 100%, and I'll probably make a video about that tomorrow. You know what I mean? I was planning on making a video about Mikey Garcia all this week, but I've been very busy, man, since the 1st of January till today. I think it might be the 5th. All I could say is, man, it's been a happy new year so far. You know what I mean, man? Been mad busy. I've been took a little hiatus from doing boxing videos. Not by choice, by force. I've been very busy, you know what I mean? I think this probably the longest hiatus I ever took out of doing boxing videos, 6 days or something, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, Bud Crawford's buddy keep talking about Sean Porter. Kind of saying Sean Porter's not important right now. Saying when Sean Porter had a belt, he wasn't talking about no Bud Crawford, nothing. You know what I mean? Which might be true, which may be the case. And we weren't talking about, that's what he's saying. We as fans, and also he mentioned a lot about YouTubers out there, you know what I mean? We probably weren't clamoring for a Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford fight like we were clamoring for a Errol Spence versus a Terrence Crawford fight. You know, the whole time for over a year, never forget the man Sean Porter was ducking Errol Spence. You know what I mean? He didn't want to fight that man. Remember when he won that title? I think it was when he beat Danny Garcia, and Errol Spence approached him after the fight. Then he talked about right there at the post-fight interview with Jim Gray or whomever. It might be that lady from PBC on Fox, and she was talking about, and Errol Spence was saying, yeah, I'm sorry, Sean Porter said, yeah, we could fight. We got the same management. It won't be hard to make. Then that same night, at the post-fight press conference, Sean Porter was starting to get cold feet, and he ducked him for a year till the public pressure got on Sean Porter, and I made videos, the DuckTales videos, and he finally got made, stood his ground and said, you know what? Everybody say I'm afraid of this guy. I'm gonna show him I'm not, and I give him props. He went into the ring, so there wasn't really much talk about a Sean Porter versus Terrence Crawford, but now there is, and Sean Porter would be the best name on his resume. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care, man, about business or nothing. You're not gonna tell me just because a man is coming off a loss, he don't deserve to be get a title shot or even be in any good fights. Look, I've seen the guys like Robert the Ghost Guerrero and um, Austin Trout come off losses and still get title shots. You know what I mean? Because they were formidable fighters. You know what I mean? Okay, so they keep talking about Sean Porter basically like he ain't got a belt and they chasing legacy, and they're basically trying to imply like, okay, we just want to fight other guys who have belts, whether it's Pacquiao or Errol Spence, you know what I mean? But the guy keep talking about Danny Garcia. He brought up Danny Garcia lost to Mauricio Herrera. I believe he did too in Puerto Rico. I watched that fight with Deontay Wilder versus his friend. What's that dude? That weirdo from Philly who laid down versus Chisora. What's his name? Malik Scott in Puerto Rico. Danny Garcia, I had him losing to Mauricio Herrera, 8 rounds to 4. You know what I mean? I didn't really hear him mention if about the Lamar Peterson fight, but I thought Danny lost to Lamar Peterson. And they also the Bud Crawford mentioned that Danny Garcia ducked um, Victor Postal. You know what I mean? He ain't fight Victor Postal, which is absolutely true. I have no qualms with nothing they said about that. But at the end of the day, why are they even talking about Danny Garcia? He has no hardware. You know, his man is clowning him for fighting Red Catch. He's fighting Red Catch. You know why he's fighting Red Catch? Because he was supposed to fight Errol Spence in January. We know what happened with Errol Spence in October. He got in a car accident. You know, you gotta put like a disclaimer when you say these type of things. Let the world know why Danny Garcia is fighting Red Catch. And by no means am I defending the man Danny Garcia. You know, I'm a fan of Danny Garcia. I like what he did at 140. You know, I picked him to beat Matisse, and I was very happy about what he did. I thought he lost to Lamar Peterson. We was asking for that fight for the longest, especially out here in the D.C., Maryland area, and we finally got it. We thought our man won, and the he didn't get the decision. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna cry because both of them weren't even Lamont and Danny Garcia weren't even man enough to put their 140-pound titles on the line. They fought at a catch weight of 142 with no titles on the line. So at the end of the day, I thought Lamont Peterson won, but y'all should have fought at 140. If y'all couldn't make 140, then just whatever. But at the end of the day, they talking about Danny Garcia hard body on that little that clip from with Bud and his buddy in Bud's living room, and he's showing him this Ring magazine lineal belts, which are cool. I'm very proud of Bud for achieving those. But one thing for sure, two things for certain: the man Danny Garcia doesn't have a belt. He's not holding any hardware, just like Sean Porter. He's beltless. Two belts are in Errol Spence's possession. One belt is in Manny's possession, and one is in Terrence Crawford's possession. Really and truly, why are they even talking about a Danny Garcia fight while dismissing Sean Porter? You see, now that's what I don't like, and I'm a fan of Bud Crawford. I believe he's number one pound for pound, but I ain't no fanboy of nobody, and I just call it like I hear it. You know what I mean? Look, Danny Garcia really and truly has a better resume than Bud Crawford at 147. Has even a better win at 147 than Bud Crawford does. He beat Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Robert the Ghost Guerrero is better than anybody that the man Terrence Crawford has beat at 147. And you can't talk about guys with hardware, and you can't talk about that, and you fought guys like Benavidez. You know what I mean? You fought guys like Benavidez. I'm going Kavalowskis, the Mean Machine, was a mandatory. That guy deserves a shot if he's a number one mandatory. But at the end of the day, Bud Crawford and your mans, y'all made a lot of great points, hit it right on the nail with everything y'all said. I'm not going to get into what they said about YouTubers because they could be talking about anybody, really and truly. You know what I'm saying? They could be talking about anybody. If they say a lot of them channels don't know shit about boxing, that's their opinion, and they might be true. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, we're going to stick to what they was talking about as far as the boxers and keep talking about Danny Garcia, but dismissing Sean Porter is asinine. You heard? And for the man Bud Crawford to front on Danny Garcia, the whole time Danny Garcia has fought better people. He at least has fought Keith Thurman and Sean Porter and Robert the Ghost Guerrero at 147. You know what I mean? So, really and truly, man, Bud Crawford, I understand what you're trying to do, but if you're not fighting Sean Porter, who does is a guy who's a great current welterweight. You know what I mean? He's been one of the best welterweights since he became a world champion in 2013 December when he beat Sean Porter. Excuse me, I'm Devin Alexander. He's still around in 2020. We talking about 2013. Bud Crawford didn't have a title in 2013 in any division. So, Porter's been around, and he gave Errol Spence a great fight. My fight of the year for 2019. But the guy Bud Crawford is dismissing him. But you keep talking about Danny Garcia, a guy who has a better resume than Bud Crawford at 147, and a guy who lost to Sean Porter. I personally thought that that Danny Garcia probably edged that fight out, but he lost the fight on record. That's neither here nor there. But it just doesn't make sense, man. Bud Crawford, man. I've been seeing him on Twitter, man. Every day he's going at it with people. People coming for his neck. But Crawford got to do something, my guy. The Ring magazine that your buddy is showing them two Ring magazine lineal titles that you won, and those weren't just Ring magazine awarded. No, those were real lineal titles. You know, they weren't fractured like how Ring magazine tends to do sometimes when they want to, like how they did for Tyson Fury or Rigondeaux or Adonis Stevenson. Nah, but you can't take away the lineal, and that's what the man Bud Crawford was. You know what I mean? At 135 and at 140. But your buddy keeps praising these Ring magazine belts, talking about, oh, this is what Willie Pep had. This is what Joe Louis had. Sugar Ray Robinson. Sure, a lot of people have had that. You know, a lot of people. Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao. A lot of people have been lineal champions. You keep praising it, but the Ring magazine ain't looking out. They ain't got no love for you, bud. They dropped you from the rankings, man. As a brother, man, they've been looking to do that for years. Floyd Mayweather and Andre Ward held the spots. They've been looking to do that for a long time, and you're giving them enough reason and leeway to drop you in the pound for pound ranking from number 1 to 4. They got Naoya Inoue ahead of Bud Crawford, Canoli, and Lomachenko. But Crawford, that's a slap in the face, my guy. And it's not really because they doing it on purpose. But right now, man, we want to see you in super fights. And Sean Porter, you gave Amir Khan a title shot. For what? He ain't have no hardware. What fan base he got here in USA? He ain't got a fan base. He's just a name. And Sean Porter for sure is a name. And I'm not going to take down my DuckTales video. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to say nothing, man, about, oh, boxing is a sport disguised as a business and, you know, it's a business strategy. No, man. Nah, that's disrespecting Sean Porter. Although I haven't heard Sean Porter talk much about it, more his pops. You know what I mean? What's up, Hop? Hop's in the chat. He says, Hop, agree with you about Herrera over Garcia. Weird that Herrera went on to lose 5 of his next 9, though. Yeah, he did, man. But, you know, Mauricio Herrera was just can't crack. He can't crack an egg. Somebody laid him out. Was it? Yeah, Virgil Ortiz laid him the F out as one of the best knockouts for 2019. Mauricio Herrera was okay. You know, I think he caught on any given day, Danny Garcia. Look, but Mauricio Herrera is a good boxer, but I just think Danny was caught slipping that day in Puerto Rico, overwhelmed by a fight in his parents' country of Puerto Rico, because Danny's born in Philadelphia. Never forget, you know, and you know they were doing a big show for him coming off that Matisse win, you know, and I just think that he just got caught slipping that night. Do I think Mauricio Herrera beats him 10 times out of 10? Absolutely not. I think maybe Danny Garcia wins 8 times out of 10. At that time, that Mauricio Herrera, who was an unknown commodity. Hop says, can't remember who was Bud's first fight at 147. It was Jeff Horn. Absolutely. Jeff Horn, like you said. Yeah, he fought him for that title. And Jeff Horn is Jeff Horn, man. He lost to an Australian Chippendale stripper, Mike Zarafa. You know what I mean? He beat him in the rematch, but he got stopped by that Mike Zarafa. You know what I'm saying? This is Jeff Horn is a guy I didn't think beat Pacquiao, and that's his claim to fame. Yes, indeed. So, Bud Crawford and his buddy, his man's talked about he's a boxing historian. I'm not doubting that he is one bit. I'm not doubting that. But you got to put things in context too. And you can't be talking about Danny Garcia all night and dismissing Sean Porter when Sean Porter has beat Danny Garcia. And both these guys both have better resumes than Bud Crawford at 147. P. Marsh Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments. Let me know what you think about his man's Bud and his buddy being contradicting each other, being contradicting, and let me know in the comment section if you think Bud Crawford should still fight Sean Porter. Next. Peace. Big up to Hop coming through in the chat. Salute.